Just because it's the fall season doesn't mean that every team is outside during the course of the months of September and October. One of our indoor teams that takes place in the Fleischer Center is the women's volleyball team. And as we welcome in the head coach, Peter Volkert, who's good enough to give us some time here. Coach, third year here for you at NJIT. I would imagine it's starting to get a little bit easier bringing in your own players who understands the system that you want to play.
Yeah, the big first step was really the school just joining the Atlantic Sun Conference. Now, once we're in a conference, some of those old connections as far as with recruiting and clubs, the coordinators were willing to send kids to our school because now we actually belong to a conference. There was that the goal to shoot for. There's postseason play. Even as an independent, it was even hard to find matches sometimes because everybody's playing conference play on the weekends, and you have no one to play because you're not in a conference. So joining a conference was certainly been a big change, and now has opened up the doors. The kids wanted to come to our school. Getting a lot of matches in a short amount of time, I would think you'll learn a lot about your team by the time conference schedule comes around. Absolutely. More than half of our team is new. We have 8 of our 14 players are brand new. So we wanted to see them as much as we can early on to see what we have and be able to prepare for conference play. And we need that time. We need those matches to kind of put it all together. I would think, as you said, joining the Atlantic Sun last year and now year 2 in the league, there'll be more of a comfort level with that, but also a transition period for the program and the rest of the athletic teams here at NJIT. Right behind us, a ton of construction going on for what will be a brand new building and home for you and the basketball programs and some of the other teams that'll take place. It's an exciting time to be here at NJIT. Absolutely. When we talk about recruiting, we think that'll change so much. We should have the premier facility in the Atlantic Sun. Should be the state-of-the-art, brand new, the best athletic facility that the conference will have to offer, which that changes recruiting in itself. When you walk someone into maybe an older gym or a gym that's not at a high-quality level, it's not as appealing to recruits. So when they come in and see over $100 million complex with state-of-the-art everything and just brand new facilities, it's certainly attractive. Volleyball-wise, we'll also have a practice court, besides playing in the main arena. So it's really going to help improve things and get a lot of recruits to want to come to our school. Where do you feel like you need to improve in terms of getting maybe some more results on the court, taking on such a high level that takes place in the Atlantic Sun? It's certainly the conference is a very every team plays at a really high quality, so that's a great thing. And you want to kind of match that, and we had a lot to learn last year, and we want to certainly step it up, build, and qualify for the playoffs. That's just a beautiful benefit of being at a conference is you want to be able to participate in that conference tournament at the end of the year and qualify for the playoffs. And sometime in the future you want to be one of that, have that 1 in 8 chance to win the conference. So it's an exciting time, and we're looking forward to in year 2 now to take that next step and try to qualify for the playoffs and be part of that tournament at the end of the year. Coach, we appreciate you giving us a couple of minutes here. I know in the middle of preseason it's always difficult to grab some time. Best of luck in the upcoming year. Thank you very much. That is the head coach, Peter Volkert. We'll step out for just a brief moment, look at the upcoming volleyball schedule, and then shift things inside and join a couple of the student-athlete players for the Highlanders. Our women's volleyball preview continues with a couple of our student athletes, senior Annika Harris and junior Alyssa Armada. Guys, thanks so much for giving us some time here. I want to talk about the opportunity to play now second year in the Atlantic Sun. Alyssa, for you, last year I know was a little bit of a struggle in terms of probably getting used to the conference overall, the travel, and some of the high quality teams that play in the league.
Yeah, it was definitely a step up from where we're used to. We played a lot of East Coast schools, which is a little lower competition in Division I. So now that we're going to the South, the girls are taller, they're ready to play, and it was nice to get a little preview of what everything was going on. But I think now that we have a better understanding of where all the teams stand, we have a better understanding of where we should train and what level we should be at.
And Annika, for you, I know that you started your collegiate career down in Florida, so you probably were a little bit more used to the level of play and what to expect.
Yes, I am used to it. I mean, Florida is one of the regions where a high level of volleyball is being played, so I'm kind of having an understanding of what it's like to go down there playing against those schools.
When you think of it, Alyssa, the schedule for you guys is pretty interesting. You start off on the road a ton, some of the tournaments that you're involved with. The challenges that go along with that, you have the extra travel with playing teams in the Atlantic Sun on the long travel, but knowing that you won't be home for a long time playing in some pretty good tournaments to get your season up and going.
Mm-hmm. I think that's going to bring our confidence up, because if we start out with a lot of home games and then we go on the road and we hear all the fans heckling you and just a different atmosphere, we might not be as comfortable gelling with the team. Versus if we start out not in our familiar area, our team chemistry should be more solid.
Annika, for you as a senior now on this team, you know, the differences of having some veteran players back like Alyssa, and then bringing in a lot of transfers and newcomers to the program as well.
Yeah, I think that is very good, having the new players coming in, transfers and freshmen, bringing in both skills, because our team is more diverse this year, which is, so practice so far has been really good, but we just need to continue with that chemistry because we're coming out more stronger this time, more understanding of the game and all of that.
All right, speaking of diversity, I got to ask about this. I know that you guys had a little bit of a team bonding, probably quite challenging thing that you had to do over the course of the summer, which was learn how to count to 20 in 7 different languages.
7 different languages. It's Spanish, Tagalog, which is Filipino, Japanese, Polish,
Jamaican Creole.
What else is there? Did I say Polish?
Yeah.
Polish
And then we probably have to learn Portuguese coming.
Portuguese, probably. And we just got that task assigned on Tuesday.
So how many have we mastered so far?
Well, we probably have mastered like from 1 to 10 with 2 of the languages. Most of us know Spanish so far. With Serbian, we kind of got a gist of 1 to 10, but we haven't been able to reach 20 yet, but we'll get there.
It sounds like you're going to have to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, during warm-ups, or if we're huddling just get water, we will count in 1 language per day. So if we're like saying, like yesterday we did Filipino, so we were saying like all the languages, and we say tech, and then we get water. So it's been a little helpful having a couple girls know the language, just so that we can teach everyone. So it's just easier to learn from mouth versus from a computer or Quizlet or something.
And so I want to close with asking both of you about your journey to get here to NJIT. Alyssa, first for you, you grew up in Chicago. How does someone from Chicago make their way to Newark, New Jersey?
Well, I liked this school because of the location. It's near New York City. It's a really good academic school, and they have really good connections for the future. So I figured if I come out here all the way to Jersey, it's a new school to experience, and it's a new coast, and everything should be brand new. I lived in the West Coast, the Midwest, so I really wanted to try the East Coast. So that's the reason why I brought here, and also, of course, volleyball.
And Annika, for you, mentioned already that you're a transfer from down in Florida, but you grew up in Jamaica, so you've had a couple of stops along the way to get here.
Yeah, it's a pretty stops. I had like 3. For my freshman year, I was at Morgan State, and then I transferred to Florida State College at Jacksonville. And the reason why I came to NJIT is that I wanted to build the program. I saw a lot of potential, and I wanted to come in and help to build this program. You know, one of our mottos this year is prove it, and this is one of the things that we're going to take real seriously, because the conference is going to be thinking that we're the underdogs this year, but we have a lot to prove to come out in our second year being in the ASUN Championships.
I love the attitude. Thanks so much for giving us some time, and best of luck in the upcoming year.
Thank you.
Women's volleyball will kick off their season on the 26th of August with a tournament at LaSalle. For more updated information, go to njithighlanders.com.